What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 16 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Malakai Makaisson Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, a pretty great battle at the Falls of Doom saw Grimgor's doom at hand, at the hands or the axe, I suppose, of Gotrek. Though I would once again say that Gotrek won the duel in practice, but perhaps not in theory, as if it was a true one-on-one with no buffs and they were both at full HP, and Grimgor would have probably destroyed him decently easily. But anyway, in addition to that, we were able to destroy Grimgor's army by bombing them into the ground with the air superiority that we had there, and Grimbrindle acquired the Cloak of Beliar, the third out of his 4 legendary items, and it was quite a nice battle as well, where he actually took damage by virtue of the enemy's air units coming in to hit us from the side. Anyway, Grimbrindle's going to start this episode off by heading into the Frozen Landing, but before we do that, before I forget to do this, there's a couple of things we want to do. We're going to delete this Iron Drake and this Gyrocopter, and then Mr. Callon Deepbrow. You're level 20, and I'd really rather not waste a level 20 hero, so we're going to replace you temporarily with Wait, actually, the reason we want to replace you is because we want to reset your skills, so we'll do that. Yes. And we will replace you with Grungni or Grimling, who we will temporarily, I guess, give a Slayer ward to reduce the cost of this army, lest it be too expensive. But that guy's level 20, so I really don't want to waste the Lord. And I guess while we're doing that, we could do the same thing here. Cobalt Redbeard is also kind of screwy with his points, although the Axe Lord is still useful to us at the current time. I kind of would like him to lead a few other units. Alright. If we're going to make him our Thunderer army leader, we can start building him Thunderers as well, just to transfer stuff over. What we could also do... I mean, I guess we could build you some more cannons. Oh, wait, was that out of the Blasted Wastes? And this was in the Plain of Jar. Wait, no, this is global. The heck? Wait, did I not just see the Blasted Wastes here as well at the same time? Okay, I'm just confused. Apparently I'm just... Huh? How are we seeing both of these here? What the heck? The Blasted Wastes is a different territory than the Plain of Jar. Why? And there's like, whatever. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna ignore it. You are going to get replaced as well for 3 turns. Well, now we're gonna have to pay for a new Lord to lead. You know what? Let's double check if there's a Lord with a good trait that will want to get recruited. Disciplined is okay on a regular Lord. Ancestral Blood Thungni, might be okay if we want to get a Rune Lord that's a little bit more Rune Magic focused. That's not so bad. Cunning ain't so bad either. I mean, all of them are fine, to be honest. Let's go reset your skill points. And we'll need to do the same to Ungrim himself as well, but, you know, in a little bit. What was the Lord I was gonna get? I guess we'll go to the Thungni one. Alright, let's go with the Thungni one. And just to replace a Rune Lord with a Rune Lord in case we need it. And there we go. And of course all of these Dwarf Warriors will go away. The Thane will go into King Lund's army, and then so will the other Thane, and we're gonna need another Thane. Lots of Thanes in that army for the 99% vigor loss reduction for our Hammerers. Anyway, another thing we will want to do here is Grungni. You are going to receive 1, 2, 3, 4 Goblin Hewer units, which will give you... Assuming that we... Now we can keep the Runesmith. Assuming that we replace these 2... Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe we keep the Grudge Throwers in here. Alright, fine. Keep the Grudge Throwers and give them this Grudge Thrower as well. Yeah, the thing is, I'd love to tote around some of these units, ferry them over to other armies. Once again, since it's reduced to 3, we can't even ferry them over easily. Like, we can't put a bunch in one army to transfer to other armies. It's, I don't know. I don't approve of the thing that they changed it from 5 to 3. But anyway, not a big deal. 4 plus 1, so we'll replace 1, so we'll still be at 13 out of 20, and then we'll have 4, so we'll be at but 17, which means we'll need 3 more units. Can we build Grudge Throwers here? No, we can build more... we can build more Goblin Hewers. I take it we can build Grudge Throwers here, though? We can, so we could always move this army over. Alright, let's get some temporary, then. temporary goblin heroes. Oh, in fact, we raised them at a much higher level. They started rank 7 here, whereas here they're rank 2. You know what? It might actually be worth it to delete them and then rebuild them. Yeah, it'll cost a little bit of extra cash. But we'll save a turn of extra cash because we just deleted them. I like this idea. Veterancy is worth quite a bit after all. Yeah. Alright, that looks good to me. This is obviously just going to be a sort of a, not really a temporary army, but needed to hold ground. We need to prepare for our inevitable confederation of Clan Angrund, which is probably going to happen next turn, assuming that Karazakarak is not an actual possibility. And thus, there's a lot of new fronts that'll open up, and we really need to be ready for it, insofar as we can be, as we are still very much embroiled with a fairly difficult conflict with the greenskins down here. Wish Grumbrindle could join, but he has some champions of chaos to slay, but before that, it's ratting time. Alright, head on over, sir. We need to make sure that we kill Typhus Rat so he doesn't run off as well. Yes, we will fight this, just because I think it'll be fun. Alright, here we go. Definitely starting easy with this particular battle, but hey, Gromby's army is still relatively new and hasn't had too many chances to play yet. And on top of that, it's always fun with doing battles with just absolute massive piles of Skaven. They're often some of the funnest battles in the game. Just holding a hill, though we don't really have a hill in this particular case. But yeah, as we get completely surrounded by rats, it's some glorious times. Anyway, looks like the enemy is annoyed and moving towards us relatively quick. Of course, our organ guns are firing upon them, but the relatively loose formations of the Skaven slaves, at the very least, will mean probably not as many units die from the organ gun fire. That said, they are now moving into range of our troll hammer torpedoes, and if they're good enough for trolls, they're good enough for just about everything else. And damn, was it the troll hammer explosions that are sending the rats flying, or the artillery fire? That's actually curious. And because I would think if a troll hammer torpedo were to actually hit you, you'd just explode. You wouldn't be flying back like this, but it looks like it might be additional. Wait, let's see here. Yeah, no, you need to direct hit. That looked like it should have done some damage. I was thinking that perhaps maybe the very small explosive radius on the troll hammer was enough to send rats flying. Not that it's of any importance. Anyway, we've separated our battle barge to sort of protect this one flank where the enemy has concentrated a fairly decent pile of units, while the rest are moving towards our battle lines. Might be able to reach us, and we'll find out shortly. And there's more troll hammers. It looks like it's time for the enemy to start getting in range of the regular Iron Drakes and the Scolder Guard as well. Funnily enough, the Scolder Guard hasn't been particularly useful in this campaign yet. They are intended for sort of knocking out more elite versions of infantry. They're not really going to be particularly good at killing off droves of Skaven, at least not in the same manner that the regular Iron Drakes will probably be. But if the enemy had units like Storm Vermin and stuff, the Scolder Guard would be racking up the kills there. And ooh, you guys should have gotten that last volley off, but oh well. The enemy has moved in now, but let's face it, it's a unit of Skaven slaves, and even against Iron Drakes aren't particularly good in melee. When buffed up by Gromby with 53 melee defense and 125 armor, they're going to have a tough time with it. And getting a little bit of fire exchange now as the organ guns and some of the troll hammers have switched to firing upon the Skaven slave slingers and whatever other slinger units the enemy has. Grumbrindle was waiting, instead of going for the Lord, which he usually does, for Typhus Rat to move in, because we don't want him to survive, so we'll use Gromby to focus him down. The enemy center has completely collapsed, and only the units on the flanks are going to remain. We're going to have to sort of switch the way that we're firing on him, and to sort of have our army into firing into the flanks, well, into one flank, then have the other into the other. Ah, yes, hold the hill, Iron Drakes. It's a beautiful sight. I do love it when the flamethrower ones fire and effectively point blank as well. I have a slight bias towards fire units, generally speaking. Gotta build your fire armies, and this may not be a fire army, but it has just enough fire units. If there can ever be such a thing as enough fire units. Anyway, same essentially thing is happening on the other side with the iron drakes with the flamethrowers holding against the pile of rats while the troll hammer torpedoes scream overhead. Once again, no big ol' units for them to target, but this will work just fine. And this is why I wanted to fight this fight. Yeah, the enemy has no chance here, but it's a cool fight, and it's always... I mean, isn't that what the game is about? Trying to find those cool looking battles that are an absolute spectacle. There we go. And beautiful. And it looks like the battle is nearly ours. I imagine that Gromby has pretty much wiped out the enemy lord now. Typhus Rat is... Oh, actually, he's only just found him. I guess Typhus Rat was trying to escape, but, I mean, stat-wise, that does make sense, because Gromby could eat him for breakfast with no problem whatsoever. Looks like some of the enemy units are rallying. This is a line of Skaven, or this is a Skaven army after all, and fighting Skaven pretty much always means forcing enemies to rout and rally, at least twice. And they're booking it on out of there. Dwarfen firepower wins the day once more, and with that, the enemy army will shatter, though the damage on these Iron Drakes is not from the enemy, but from our own pretty dangerous units. Let's face it, if a Trollhammer torpedo or if an organ gun shot, I want to say iron gun, but organ gun shot hits one of your own units, they're gonna die. So, yeah, and I guess the same thing is true of the battle barge or the thunder barges in general. Anyway, a very nice battle. I'm also excited to compare how this Trollhammer or the Iron Drake army will do compared to the Thunder army, as, well, we should be able to build it up within the next couple of episodes with tons of Thunderers and lots of Grudge Rakers, a few regular Thunderers, and maybe a few Slayers as well. Basically just guns and maybe a few cannons or organ guns or something. I don't know, but very Thunderer heavy. Alrighty, there we go. Massive amounts of kills on pretty much every unit, but, well, hardly surprising when the enemy had 5,000 rats. We got 3 losses, none of which were killed by the enemy army, of course, because the damage was from friendly fire. One of our organ guns hit one of our units of Iron Drakes, thereby dealing damage. Looks like the Iron Drakes with Troll Hammers barely did anything compared to the damage dealt by the regular Iron Drakes, which certainly puts into perspective the reason we need to have them in this particular army, just because if there are hordes of basic infantry we're facing down, rather than larger units for the Troll Hammers, more elite units, then the regular Iron Drakes are going to be a little bit more useful. But I am hoping to replace them with the Grudge Settlers, and thereby make them a little bit more unique compared to the Fire Army, which is going to be obviously a lot more reliant on that sort of thing. Anyway, we're going to occupy the place, and that should be about 2,000 grudges unless I'm mistaken. Worth still only puts us to 30% for what we currently have in terms of the Age of Reckoning, but we'll see what the objective is in 4 turns, the new objective, once this thing resets. Hopefully it's still not 46k, because that's ridiculous, and almost impossible. Anyway, let's see if there's anything else we need to do this turn. I don't think that there is, and especially considering we just spent a bunch of cash, I feel like I don't want to risk doing anything else. Arguelon still wants to be friends, but Arguelon, I think not. Ropsman clan are actually going to betray you shortly, and we're not piecing out with Siggy, that's for damn sure. Also, that completed the Skaven scheme one. Meaning we just need to do one more to be able to do the final battle. Although maybe we should save the Skaven one for a while. And then again, if we wait too long, we won't get the flaming cannon ammunition out of the main battle thing. Oh, for specifically the Spirit of Grungni. This, completing the Caravan Devoured thing, will give us Flaming Cannon for all Thunder Barges, and that's down here, which is certainly reachable, especially if we Confederate Karazakarak. Speaking of, skip, outpost upgrade, and outposts. You still don't have land ships for us, do you? Until you do, I don't see the point. It's a waste of our money, which we need more. Anarchists and Revivalists, you still don't really have anything useful, although... Wait. Do you have Frostworms available? No, not even Frostworms. I want to put a couple of them in an army. Really, no Frostworms whatsoever. These guys really are not doing anything with the massive amount of territory that we've given them. Doing absolutely nothing with it. I honestly was hoping that they would fix this for the AI in terms of the way that it handles gifted territories. It seems like when the player gifts territories to the AI, it doesn't really use them, at least most of the time. Maybe it thinks it needs to use all its money to build armies to protect the larger territory it holds. I'm not entirely sure the reasoning for it, well, I really do think that you should be able to help an ally build up. But anyway, join war against the Barrow Legion, we'll do that, but later. Probably when we're down there. Frankly, you don't really need our help to take the Barrow Legion out of the Central Empire territories at the very least. You might need our help in Bretonnia, should we ever go all that way. Or bother going all that way, I should say. Anyway, ready for duty, Rorik Cromson, ready. Oh, damn, 2 new lords came right when we deleted other lords. Well, not deleted, but, you know, did the replacement thing. Oh, well, they'll be back shortly. I see that Orky army ran away. We should probably link up with Rongni Helheim here. And trade some stuff, and that includes this Thane, unless I'm mistaken, yes. We still need another Thane, but we can't build Thanes here, damn. We can build runesmiths. Wait, where can we build Thanes? Okay, we can build Thanes here. And runesmiths. We got a hardy Thane and physical resistance, it's not so bad. I kind of like Thane, well, then again, for the ones that lead the Hammerers, maybe it would be more appropriate to get a Weapon Master one. And be more attacky. Since the army is going to be super attacky, might as well kind of lean into it. Yeah, sure. Get this Thane for the 3rd Thane for that particular army. And the word Thane has now lost all meaning. And Runesmith with Ancestral Blood Grimnir. Yeah, it also feels kind of attacky. Why not? Ancestral Blood Grimnir it is. I like it. I like it very much. And on the other hand, we could give the Ancestral Blood Grimnir to the... to this army as well. I'll think about it. Let's get a move on with everybody, though. Yo, Malakai. We're going to take a bit of a detour up towards Saber Mountain, and the reason I think we should do this is because if Tamarkan is hanging around here, and chances are that he is, we might want to send Malakai to deal with him, and possibly Zatan the Black as well. Might be fun for him. Even though he should be going through the Darklands. Angrum's got at least the nearby locations. Anyway, what do we have here? Not really an army. Is that Tamarkan? I see an army. I'll resolve this and occupy it. Sapper. Hey, another Lichbone Pennant. Absolutely fantastic. I love to see these in this campaign because a Lichbone Pennant is such a great thing to put on a Thunder Barge. Magical damage and spell resistance. I really just wish that you could put multiple of the same copy of the same banner. Yeah, there he is. And ooh, he's got a pretty decent army. He's got Chosen. He's got 2 of his chieftains, a bunch of Plague Ogres, Soul Grinder. I'm just hoping he doesn't try to attack the Bile Trolls here. Is he at war with the Orcs? No. Who is he at war with? What's he doing here? Damn, we're gonna get this campaign movement reduction plague if we fight him, which is annoying, but whatever. He is at war with nobody, meaning there's a fairly high likelihood he'll declare war on us, but hopefully he can just sit there while Malakai approaches and then attacks him. I don't even know what Tamarkan's defeat trait is. I never looked into it, but hopefully it's not garbage. Also, I'm gonna get rid of these Slayers. I was thinking about doing it earlier, but honestly, we've been toting them around for too long, and I feel like they're wasting too much money, costing us thousands of gold and not really... well, obviously they're not doing anything. But those units are kind of a trap in the sense that you think, oh, it's a rare unit, and won't be able to see it again, so I better save them all, but yeah, let's not, at least not right now. Anyway, you, Stochel. I'll lead the Jartrum throng towards the Palace of Princes, which you can attack next turn. We're not at war with these guys, but we will be. Ow, for the love of, these guys have another army out here. Varg Camp. Man, Stochel, I fear that this won't work. You're gonna have to set to sea again. We'll see where this guy goes. If he sets out to sea, we're gonna need to have Stochel deal with it. You can still keep taking their territories, though. In fact, we might even want to jump you over to the Twisted Towers, ignoring the crag, so that we can thereby knock out their ability to build armies here. Yeah, they're gonna start coming in from this side again. Yeah, we just need more armies up here, but we can't afford them right now. Hey, alright. Well, we'll deal, I'm sure. Also, Fecundites have taken Middenheim. Are you at war with them? Regular Empire? Yeah, you are. Eben von Dragan. Okay, yeah. We have Elspeth von Draken at home. Anyway. Architect. Yeah, alright, let's do some building. You're going to Krakadrak, and do you need to bypass Krakadrak to head into anywhere else? I mean, we could go all the way to Frozen Landing, but I'm not sure it's worth it, to be honest. Could move up to Help. Yeah, we could move up to Help It to make the Dwarf Hold there free. I think that's the way to do it. Is this Krakadrak? Or no, this is Lair of the Troll King. So this is Krakadrak, so we could head up here. How far is Frozen Landing? The thing is, I fear from here. Let's give this a try. Go to Krakadrak for now. And yeah, look at all the. How much money did that give us? An extra 400 gold per turn from just your presence in this territory? The worst thing. Yeah, build the Feast Hall for 360, the Silver Hall for 640, and the Toolmaker's Foundry for 360. There we go. Saved us enough money for... Nope. Cancel. Constructor Thunderstone. Get in there. Alrighty, and now this Engineer Corps makes everything free. There we go. Free Toolmaker's Hall, free Feast Hall, and free Silver Hall. I don't remember how much those cost, but it was probably somewhere in the realm of 10k, so definitely worth our time. And this will be free as well, the Dwarf Hold here. Lovely. Anyway, what else do we gotta do? Let's see about the rest of this turn. Gromby. There's a nice mysterious island here, but I think you're gonna jump across towards Stormvrak Mountain, Narcissum Portal Pleasure. Alright, there. I didn't check if the rats were gone for good. And oh, damn, I should have kept Gromby there to reduce the cost of this slightly. And you know what? Then again, I suppose we probably won't be able to jump from here to help it. I'm gonna save a turn. We might be able to make this free as well. We'll see. Not 100% on it, but we gotta give it a try. King Lun. Okay, so how are we going to do this with you? You can march stance here, or you can... No, you can't go tunneling very far. Alright, that's fine. You're gonna go here, in march stance, and we're going to hope that the gates of Jar aren't full of Clan Rictus rats. It's very possible that they are. And there's that little Gobbo army. Yeah, but there's no way that they take Howling Rock. It has defenses. Alright, then what we want to do here is Grungni. You're going to swap out some units. It's too many cannons, but this is the Thunderer, or the future of the Thunder Army. You're obviously going to keep your Master Engineer, and ooh, I actually wanted to reset this Master Engineer's skills because they're trash. Let us give you the 2 Thunderers with Grudge Rakers. Give them the Pirate Slayers as well. We'll take the Dwarf Warriors, or some of the Dwarf Warriors, and you're hurt, and you're hurt. And we'll delete them. Do we want to trade the... Oh, what are we going to do with these Iron Drake's Grudge Settlers? I really want to use them in... Oh, actually I have an idea. And we can bring the Trollhammer Gyrocopter to Grimbrindle as well, together with the Iron Drakes. That'll give something for that other little army to do, which means you keep them until you ferry them over, and you're also going to fight in the Silver Hall, the undead spawning once we rebuild it, with all those hammers, as I think that would be fun. Alright, I think that's the way to do it. We can also just transfer you all the Slayers so that we could send Grungni up to Ungrim rather than having you do it. There's potential for that. Huh. I don't think he needs to stay here. Yeah, why not? I like it. Slayer. And nothing else, right? Oh, take the Thane as well. Forgot to do that. And then take all the Dwarf Warriors you want, at least until you're maxed out. There we go. Alright, now you two are both stuck for the turn, but that's alright. You can't... Okay, I have to double check. You're both stuck for the turn, but King Lun can start marching back towards the Silver Pinnacle. And Aragni can move to transfer these Slayers temporarily, mind you, but transfer these Slayers over to Angrund. Also, we do want this Engineer. You have a student and stuff, and... I wonder, do you keep the student if we temporarily delete you or we reset your skills? Because, yeah, look what the AI did to you. Relentless Resolute. On the other hand, we do have Ballistics Calibration. We're starting to move into Triangulation. Maybe it's safer to keep him here just to power up the army. Fine. Why not? It's not a big enough deal. By the time he reaches level 50, or frankly, by the time he reaches level 30, the points will be maxed out anyway, so it won't be super relevant anyway. I would like you, Mr. Norgrim Oathforged, to transfer the Grudge Throwers, Grudge Settlers, to take the one Hammerer, because we're going to transfer it to King Lun. And... do we want to... what do we want? I mean, we gotta give this to somebody, but it probably won't be you. Yeah, I guess you could hold on to it for now. Fine, just hold on to it. Just hold on to it. I mean, I don't know where else we'd put it otherwise. Slaanesh giggle. Anyway. Move to transfer this over, and I'll think about what to do with the one flame cannon in this army because reasons. What else do you need? You need a couple of engineers in this army because everything is ranged, and I think we have no more engineer capacity, unfortunately. Not at the current time, but anyway. For now, you'll be fine, and I think this army should be enough to kill off Meinrad von Karstein here, so we can hit this next turn. Just gotta make sure we pop a Lichbone Pennant in there to make sure we are able to destroy the Ghosties, as otherwise the Ghosties will be a problem. Or we wait a second extra turn to wait for the revival of our other lord. Anyway, the rest of you guys move away. Don't need to build here. We also got to remember that this guy's heroes are constructors. Just to double check, you're not a constructor, are you? Aggressive. How's your skills? Not great, but we'll keep them. Alright. Alright, let's keep going. What else do we need to do? Okay, I already checked you. Alright, and that's it. Alright, moment of truth. After all that is done, how many grudges do we have? 15,053. Oh wait, that doesn't actually answer the question. It's total grudges settled. Great Book of Grudges. Legendary Lords? Yeah, we're a little bit short of Thorgrim. That's hardly surprising. We were gonna go Beliar next anyway, so we'll have to save Thorgrim. We can save Thoric for last, even though he does buff our ability to get Oath Gold, which is nice. I'll grant you it's nice, but the thing is, his empire is the furthest away from us, and I like the idea of keeping our empire relatively contiguous, almost like our territory is sort of growing and absorbing the other holds. It's almost more, I don't know, not quite more loreful perhaps, but keeps me in the game. Alright, Beliar. Oh, this is gonna screw our funds so hard. We're plus 5,000 now, and now we are... minus 6960. It's a signs from Slaanesh, which is appropriate considering we're going to be fighting Mr. Portal Pleasurer shortly. Blackwater secured. There's that Confederation. And you only had one territory? What the heck are you doing, Beliar? Also, the AI has a bad tendency to separate the... oh no. This army's dead, isn't it? Warzag's probably going to attack it. While it's okay, you are going to lose all your items because... did he have a banner of eternal flame? Yes, please. Stonemason, lose all your items because of this army dies. Fortunately, these guys are immortal. I don't particularly care for fleet-footed, so you can die. But these guys have to be transferred to Beliar's army, and ooh, Ikat Claw's moving up. Will he attack us, though? Karakazor is a tier 2? Beliar. I'm a little bit disappointed, I gotta say. Do you have rangers? You have no rangers in your army. Okay. Every time I see the AI do something, I'm always impressed at how it screws itself over in terms of the points that it assigns. Alright, frankly, you don't actually buff rangers as much as I thought you would. Melee defense plus 5, melee attack plus 5. Oh, wait, missile strength plus 20. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And that includes the rangers with throwing weapons. Are we gonna have to reset you? You have Axe Lord, which is useless. And you have tradition and innovation, which is useless to you. You have Mason. Okay, once again, we're going to have to reset him, but right now I think we have to keep him around in case Ticket attacks us. I guess the question is, can you hold against Ticket? And the answer is I don't know, but you can certainly try. Oh, you know what you can do? You can go into ambush right here and see if he tries to move towards attacking Karak Bufdar. Actually, I was thinking about recruiting some stuff, but it might be safer to leave it as it is for now. He has a long beard, an iron drake, and a grudge thrower. A flame cannon and a hammer, a little bit of everything. Yeah, I guess we can't delete these armies. Hey, there's the ghost of King Lund, the body double of him. And I guess you're gonna try to move away. We own Verdanos. Huh. I can go figure. But we'll have to keep it as it is. Bufdar, Zerixil, you're probably both gonna need defenses, but we can't get rid of these ranger barracks here because we needed to recruit stuff. Meaning, for now, unfortunate though it may be, we're going to have to get rid of the high-tier stonebread bakeries. You know what? Honestly, defenses probably won't make enough of a difference, so we're going to leave it alone for now. Karak Hearn, you have a gunsmith's forge, and okay, yeah, no, you're gonna get rid of both of these. We'll need to be able to defend you. Barundan Stoneheart, you have a full stack. Couple quarrelers, another hammer, long beard. We can use this army temporarily to help out against Vlad before all of these guys declare war on us. Now the new provinces we got: Zufbar, Karak Dromar. Get rid of this. You can temporarily build, I was gonna say Trinket Maker, but you know what? Upkeep production for Rangers, Control Beer, Bugman's Brewery, obviously. Ranger Barracks and Hostelry buildings. It's all great. We're gonna build a trading post here. We need more Oath Gold. Oh, speaking of Oath Gold. Techs. We do want the iron price, but for now, we will stop to get construction guilds. For even more construction cost reduction. After all, we gotta remember that the construction cost reduction from our engineer corps is not, well, it's only in a couple places at once. It can't be everywhere at once, and supply lines will probably make a second engineer corps not worth it, just better to move heroes around, rather than an army. It's easier in SFO, but anyway. Construction guilds. Next up, don't need the mustering hall, and don't need this thing here. We don't need any more military structures here. But shouldn't there be like a foundry or something at Zufbar, like a landmark of it? But anyway, empower the guild's construction cost. You are good. Rest of this is looking good for now. Karakadrin, you will hopefully be ready to move out next turn as we use this temporary Barundan Stoneheart army to hit the enemy. We'll delete it later, although obviously we'll keep some of these units. They want to put these we keep getting Corlers with Great Weapons Grudge Settlers, and they're not really usable outside of... well, it's not that they're not usable, it's just that we don't want to use them outside of what's-his-face. Oh, you can actually move you to do those Vampire Counts armies. Battles, whatever. Outside of... you go here. Thorax army. I guess we could build another Quarreler army. I don't want to do too much overlap with army types, though. And there's still, like, 4 different armies that we haven't tried that I still want to try. Anyway, I believe we're ready to skip it and hit to the champion of Slaanesh, assuming, of course, that we get no new diplomacy. Argwalon liked us a lot less now. They don't appreciate our friendliness with Angrund. Avalor and Eatane, surprisingly friendly. Mostly probably they are... struggling against some factions and probably want to trade as well. Golden Order wants defensive alliance, which we will do. In fact, we'll go straight full military. And we will build an outpost as eventually, I assume we'll be able to get landships, but for now we're bleeding cash. Almost, we can't delete any of this. We need it all right now. Oh well, what can you do? We will deal, we will deal. Let's, so end the turn, I guess? Alright, end the turn. We need to get to the point where we can delete those unnecessary armies as fast as we can. And let's see if SKRYRE or the Bloody Hands, either one of them declares war on us. I didn't check whether either one of them was at war with anybody else around, but it looks like SKRYRE will say no. Where's the Bloody Hands? And Bloody Hands will say no as well. Beautiful. Siggy still wants peace. No thank you. And oh, I wonder where that Siggy army went. I hope it didn't go to sea. And what just happened? Ally mobilizes. Great. Ally begins construction. Sure. Ready for duty. Vrongni Norgrimling. There's this guy. And construction guilds complete. Another student. Lovely. And we gain... Oh, we nearly... Oh, wait. Current income minus 6k. It wants us to have 6k. We have minus 6k. That's fantastic. And Tamarkan. You ran away to fight nobody, did ya? Apparently he did. I need to probably find him with Malakai's army before we actually directly attack him. Anyway, Angrund, go for this. And... Okay, wait, just move this... You know what? I should have hit this from the other side. Slaanesh giggle. Auto resolve. I'm very mature. Come on now. And we will heal you up. I'm tempted by the money, but we will heal you up. Regardless of the fact that we're in our own territory. Because we'll need to attack Karak Vrag next turn, and we'll need to be full HP for... well, probably not, actually. Unless there's a full stack there, it shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, Malakai, you're moving to Saber Mountain, and we'll stop the auto-resolves and do that new battle. Alright, auto-resolve. Oh, Lichbone Pennant, definitely on one of the barges. Doesn't really matter which one. And Occupy. Lovely. Hero recruit rank for Rootsmiths or hero recruit cost for Runesmiths. Irrelevant. I don't even know why that's an ancillary. It should be a huge discount if that's going to be an ancillary, or I'd rather have +1 recruit rank or something like that. Anyway. So there's a problem. I was going to hit Vlad's army here with SKRYRE. But if we do, we'll immediately get mobbed by all these armies, and these guys just don't have enough yet. Carl is hanging around. What we need these guys to do is sort of separate from each other. You go right here into Oakenhammer. We could probably stop on by and grab these little tiny battles, but at least you can defend Oakenhammer from these guys' attacks. Karak Dromar. I do want to build Bugman's Brewery, but it is quite expensive, and this place is relatively undefended for now, so I think we hold. Just for a little bit. Anyway, I keep getting distracted with all the other fun stuff, but Gromby, let's level you and let's head into it. I guess we're gonna get Grimnir's Resolve. It is a battle, after all. This is all for defending only, so you're not gonna be defending here. And Time of the Ancestors is useless if you take... I mean, unless you take Gromby as your lord, so yeah. Anyway, you have Ironbeard. Let's get you more fightiness. Blade Shield, please. Runesmith. We're definitely going to need that Rune of Wrath and Ruin here in this particular battle. It's going to be quite important. And Rune, now we're going to go with Rune of Hearth and Home for that immunity to spell resistance for the Rune of Wrath and... No, you know what? Missile resistance, the Ward Breaker. In fact, the Ward Breaker almost makes me want to get another one of these guys, but we already have so many heroes in this army that it kind of... Not so sure. Anyway, let's start putting points into triangulation for additional damage out of the NGs. Like so and like so. And... away we go. Alrighty, Portal Pleasure. Oh my lord, that's a lot of Keepers of Secrets and Soul Grinders. This is... the reason I'm laughing is because this is probably the only army that... other than the all-air army... well, all-air... we still have to build an all-air army, but other than the Malakai's army, which can probably deal with this decently well, the other armies would really suffer against this, but the sheer amount of damage from the Trollhammer should be okay, though the physical resistance has me a little bit worried. It's not horrible either. Anyway, let's see what we can do, shall we? Alrighty, and Gromby runs the gamut from a dwarf of very few words, like in this one, at last to the fight. I appreciate that. Almost sounds like something Valkia would say. But at the same time, Gromby sometimes gives really long speeches as well. Anyway, I do love this map, all the lava flowing into the sea, the spiky sort of lava craters. It's a very atmospheric sort of color scheme. scheme and weather we've got going on. I love fighting in the Chaos Wastes and adjacent territories. But anyway, we've got a heck of a battle ahead for us. The extremely fast-moving Slaanesh army, basically all at cavalry speed, will be rushing towards us while we try to hold the ground with our Iron Drakes. Gotta remember that while these guys can hold in melee a little bit, they are still Iron Drakes. They're not going to dish out damage in melee, or at the very least not much. So, we need to do sufficient amounts of damage to the enemy before they get to us, unless they do too much. Anyway, the first of our victims will be a unit of, I didn't see whether they were just Seekers or Heart Seekers, but I suppose it doesn't really matter, because they're nothing now, and just warp stuff. And it's time for our battle barge to move in and start harassing the enemy army. The fact that we gave it a Lichbone Pennant is going to make it come in real handy, with its cannon firing upon the Keepers of Secrets, bypassing that physical resistance, and hopefully knocking a few of these units down before they get to our army. Unfortunately for us, they have a lot of them. And a fair few demonettes and other stuff as well. Alright, keep hitting them, battle barge, and it's time for the enemy to get in range of our organ guns as well. Let's see what we can do about this. Yeah, that's a lot of them. First one is just about down, and the second one is hurt. And they've covered maybe a third of the distance so far, and got a little bit of ways to travel, so maybe we can knock out a few more before they get there. Alright, and you should be crumbling away any second now. Down goes the first of the Keepers of Secrets, and I believe the second one may have fallen as well, or perhaps it was one of the enemy chariots. Moving our gyrocopters in to get a little bit of a bombing run in, and I do think Grumbrindle may be a good location to put some of those Trollhammer gyrobombers after all, or gyrocopters rather, after all. I mean, if he's going for an nearly all Iron Drake army with lots of Trollhammers, why not have Trollhammer gyrocopters as well? Yeah, it's a little bit one trick, but it's still fun, and it's still a different unit. Anyway, the Trollhammers absolutely obliterate the unit of Seeker Chariots as they move in, but there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Keepers of Secrets, counting the Exalted one, and 2 Soul Grinders, which we haven't been focusing down at all at this point, as I feel like the Keepers of Secrets will do more in melee if we let them close the distance. And whether they will or they won't remains to be seen. And here comes a lash of Slaanesh. Got to be a little bit wary of those. Grumbrindle heads towards the enemy Lord, but it looks like the Lord will use his speed to bypass Grumbrindle. I wish the enemy would stop doing that and head instead towards our main line. Damaged, mind you. Narcissus Portal Pleasurer is down just below half HP, but he's made it in. Looks like over on the right flank, one of the Soul Grinders is still at about half HP, and the other one is relatively fine. Gromby trying to hold back 2 Keepers of Secrets now, or at least by necessity, by virtue of the fact that Narcissum more or less ignored him. Gotta hate it when the enemy lords refuse to duel. And here comes the rest of the enemy line. At last they have reached our own main line. The demonettes are moving in to hit the Scolder Guard, who really shouldn't be turning. They don't have skirmish mode on, as we turn skirmish mode off on all of the range units here. And another Keeper of Secrets in, but this one's taking shots to the back from the Trollhammers, and I think this one should be breaking apart relatively quickly. Spin to win or not? Down you go. And though a few of the... I was about to say, though a few of the Iron Drakes have fallen, some of them are getting back up. And there we go. This is exactly what we wanted to avoid, and could use maybe a little bit more magic damage on our range line. But since we don't have it, we'll have to deal. Soul Grinder is in and attacking our organ gun units, but the Trollhammers are numerous enough to still be able to fire on the big ol' enemy units from at least most directions. Narcissus Portal Pleasurer is down, and only 3, 4 units are left on the field, with most of them finally melting away. Ooh. Looks like these Iron Drakes took quite a bit of damage, but that's what they're there for. They're not the Trollhammer variety. They're sort of our melee line. Soul Grinders going down, and Keepers of Secrets and dropping as well. This one actually facing off against Gromby for a few seconds, and then the last unit on the field will be the unit of Chaos Spawn, which will melt at last. Unbreakable though they were to the end. Very, very nice fight. Alright, very nice. I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised by that battle. The enemy was able to run the gauntlet of fire and torpedoes from our Iron Drakes and actually smash into the line, heavily damaging the Scoldger Guard and another unit of Iron Drakes. I really didn't expect them to actually be able to reach us, and if I had been, or if I had planned a little bit better for it, I would have separated the army a little bit more so that the enemy wouldn't have been able to, let's say, get into melee with as many units at once. That said, doing so would prevent us from hitting pretty much the entire army of ours with ballistics calibration, which ain't so great if we don't get everybody using that. So there's pros and cons to either sort of method. Either way, we did manage to pull off the win, and the champion of Slaanesh will fall to Grumbrindle. 1 down, 3 to go. Should be a fun little romp through the chaos wastes as we get. We're gonna ransom the captives because our money is just screwed right now, and we're going to head you into Stormvrag Mount to heal up. Like so, and we are going to, I'm really tempted to upgrade stuff, but once again, the terrible cost. I'll think about it. Alright, so the other ones are where? Oh no, we need to, oh, I see one. Hopefully the other one's not all the way like here, out here. Yeah, so I see Nurgle. I see France. Anyway, where is this found? This is this one, right? Corn, all the way up here. Oh, Corn is quite close. And where is Magnus Realm Changer? Did they really name the Zinchen guy Magnus? Okay. Alright, so Corn's up here somewhere. I will double check that before we go. Kind of odd that we don't see him if he's right here, but maybe he's just in this exact shadowed territory. But anyway. You know what? I suppose if we can deal with these guys quickly enough, we can start heading through Tamarkan's territory with Grumbrindle as well. Certainly potential for that. Also watch these guys declare war on us to attack Karak Dromar. Some of the territories that we got new are going to be a little bit of a problem for us at some point. Anyway, Crackerdrek, tier 5. Ah, beautiful, for free. Tier 5 for free. Just out of curiosity, once again, how much do tier 5s cost? Wait, where can we actually see the price here? 9,000, and that's 9,000 with the reductions offered by the 3 toolmakers in this particular location. So if we had Oath Gold there, it would be even more. Anyway, can you jump directly to help it? You can, which means I think we're better off not going to Frozen to Dwarf Outpost. To Frozen Landing, which is the Dwarf Outpost. On the other hand, we need to get to Tower of Crack for the upgrade here, but it'll happen in 3 turns. If we do this now, then it'll be 2 turns. 1 turn, we'll get there about on time. Yeah, fine, just go to Help It then. Go to Help It, we'll ignore Frozen Landing, and by ignore, I mean we'll build it up without the, and the additional cost reduction. Alright. Help It for 900. Not quite free, but close enough to it. And more likely than not, we won't need the reinforced gate here, but the thing is, if we are to betray the Ropsman clan, and we will betray the Ropsman clan, then we should, we should make sure that those walls remain until we do. I no longer see that Slaaneshi army. The question is, where did it go? We could jump over and see if we can get to the Twisted Towers. Hopefully Boris grabs the Cliff of Beasts on the way to the Twisted Towers. Yeah, he's going there himself, but he's probably not going to win against the full stack, so just go here. And, I still don't see the Slaaneshi army. Alright, fine. We're going to send you into Attrition Stochel around this way, and you can start on the Fetid Catacombs rather than the Palace of Princes, or you could even jump over. I would just really like to find out. There they are. There they are. They could potentially attack you. On the other hand, we should have a decent advantage into preventing them from, looping around us this way with both of our armies there. So that's not bad, I would say. Anyway. King Lun, both of you. Ragni, you need to head on over northward towards Ungrim to hopefully meet him around Karak Vrag. but also hopefully not ambushed by another one of Grimgore's stacks. I'm just wary of how many they have. Veil of Woe, we definitely need to upgrade the barley field here. I need to grow this to tier 3 ASAP. King Lun, you are heading back around this way as you will defend the Silver Pinnacle. Oh, we should take the other Thane out of Ungrim's army since we're going to transfer to you, and Ungrim doesn't need a Thane. Which I guess we'll do in a bit. Either way, you two are heading down to join this army as well. And... you. The Hammerers and the Gyrocopters. Assuming that we're not transferring anything from here. That army's just waiting for engineers. You're going this way. Ooh, actually, I had an idea with you. No, maybe not. I was thinking maybe we... we can recruit Slayers in Nashrak's Lair, right? If you go here... how many turns does it take to recruit Doomseekers? Because at the end of the day... it takes 2 turns. At the end of the day... we want Doomseekers and Giant Slayers in Ungrim's army, not the other base Slayers, because the other base Slayers are in our other Slayer army, and we don't want the Slayer armies to be similar to each other. So I guess what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit here and you're gonna recruit for a little bit. Is it smart to recruit extremely expensive units right now, Ruinous? I don't know, but we're still probably gonna. We can also wait and transfer this stuff over. Honestly, if we just give all of this stuff to... I'm just trying to delete this army, man. But I fear that we can't right now. Oh, the expense. The terrible expense. Ikit. You have not done what I thought you would do. Which is interesting. Also, oh, what... oh, no. I just realized, what did the skill points look like for these guys? Well, they didn't go for this portion of the tree. Deadly Blade and Hard to Hit is fine. Devastating Charge, not so fine. But otherwise, you're okay. I feel like in SFO, these guys have some unique stuff. But here, you're just a little bit stronger, and that's pretty much it. So, not a big deal either way. Actually, what about you guys? Okay, you have Deadeye, which gives you Ballistics Calibration. Good, because if one of these guys gets Grudge Raker, then it'll be... maybe not worthless, but relatively. So you're fine, and what about you? Because all of these guys have to be transferred. You have your Ancestor, Hard to Hit, Deadly Blade, Dowie Authority, Revered Thane. No, the rest of this is also fine. Alright. I'm shocked. Pleasantly, though. You, can you jump over the mountain? Yes. You are going to go right here. We are going to transfer all usable troops to Beliar, but we're not going to declare war on anybody here right now, because the place isn't well enough defended, even though I would like to use Beliar's army. Damn it. We're gonna have to get rid of some of the garage settlers. I feel like I'd rather keep... what's more unique? We already have hammers, they're nice and damagey, but I feel like the flame cannons and the grudge throwers are more unique. We do have another Iron Drake grudge settler here as well, which we could transfer over. Take out the melee. Why take out the melee? Because this army is going to be full of range stuff anyway, so it makes more sense to me. And Ghosty. Beliar needs to have 19 units. Out the miners, in the quarrelers. To be replaced by rangers over time, and we'll keep the cannons for now and some of the Longbeards. 2 of the Longbeards, apparently. Like so. I hope I did this right. Alright, Beliar, you're at 19 out of 20, and then Ghost Pal number 4 will put you up to 20 out of 20. Ghost Pal number 3, whatever. Wait, we're missing a Ghost Pal. Thane, Master Engineer Thane. You don't have another army, do you? Don't tell me they're... huh. Is the Ghost Pal wounded? I am concerned. There is a Runesmith Ghost Pal missing. I have 2 Thanes and 1 NG. Wait. Ah, he is wounded. Okay, I was worried that he got deleted somehow, but we're fine. False alarm, guys. Cease the panic. You. I may actually use you at some point. Winds of Magic Power Reserve. Ooh. Yeah, I may use you at some point. I mean, he's a rank 22 Lord. That ain't too bad. It's just that we can't afford this right now. We really, really can't afford this right now. I hate to see the rare Grudge Settler units go, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, Beliar, stay here. How much territory do the Skaven hold? 6 territories, eh? It's not so bad. How many territories? I mean, I'm just wondering who we attack with this army. Or do we just wait until one of them inevitably declares war on us? Because it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. Warzek has a full stack right there, and he could easily jump over to Karakazor, which wouldn't be able to defend itself against his full stack. Yeah, Beliar, stick around until we can sort of solve the situation a little bit more. Once the vampires are gone out of here, it'll be a lot easier to deal with that. Anyway, let's keep going, shall we? Anybody else need to do anything? Fimber Helldower. You're another Thane. Inheritor. I actually really like the magical attacks, but what possible army here would we put you into? What are you? And we're getting some really good Thanes, it's just that we don't need any more Thanes right now. Alright, you can join that army for now. And Okri, you are actually trying to get to the fire army, mostly because it has trouble regenerating. Casualty replenishing, whatever. Alright, once Okri has moved, we check tech, we check Diplo, we go next turn, and then presumably we fight. Back to Iron Price. Need that cost reduction, and we'll keep saving the Oath Gold for another bit of research. Also, Ungrim, oh, you moved this turn. Okay, just had to double check. Alright, that I believe is good. Diplo. Again. Nothing we can do, okay. And we're going to, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I'd love to build, there really, really is. But I'm wary of investing in anything here. Well, you know what, defenses is probably the way to go at Karak-Hearn. Zufbar. We'll need defenses here. Dromar, go for the watch room. Ugh. It just bothers me not to be able to have the drinking hall and the Bugman's Brewery in the same territory. I mean, this does provide a little bit of a garrison, but it wouldn't be able to hold the brewery. So I think we still have to get defenses. And get rid of the drinking hall. I'm going in the book, aren't I? Anyway, we'll go for the trading depot, and I guess we can replace the toolmaker's workshop and the drinking hall here soon, so we'll be trying to make some oath gold here. Oakenhammer, you're not likely to fall because Borundon is there, unless they attack you with like 4 armies at once. But if they did, I can't say I wouldn't enjoy it, so anyway. Skip, and then turn. Hopefully I didn't forget anything there. Alrighty, will any of them declare war on us now that we've confederated? Our empire has certainly grown pretty massively in size. Ikit Claw, there it is. Alright, I'm glad I didn't preemptively declare war on one of the other factions. Don't call allies to help. Ikit's a coming, I'm sure. Oh no. Nukes. Nukes against slow-moving dwarfen armies. And... he actually went for this. Go figure. He's gonna sack it though, he won't take it. Because Ungrim would be able to reach him otherwise. Well, it's going to be annoying unless we wipe out all those little tiny armies. War Fervor at the cost of treasury? No, we're not doing that. And did we hit level 22 or is this one of Beliar's? No, we did hit level 22 with Grimbrindle, which is decent because getting the Rune Helm of Zufbar will give us the set buff for him. Settlement Sacked, Gorger Rock, Zamnil Rocky Breakers ready, Kalon Deep Brows ready, and Cobalt Redbeard are ready. And Throny Ironbrow. We were just talking about you. You're gonna move this way. Ikit will probably move towards us right now. He can see Beliar, but that doesn't mean he always has to. Beliar's stay in a march stance around here while waiting for Ghost Pal number 4 to move on in. Alright, can we get a battle going anywhere? I wish I could see what's going on at Castle Tempelhof. You, go to Tempelhof rather than where we were sending you before. Oh, look at all these markers. Yeah, Vlad is still there. So, oh my lord, 3 Vargulfs? Yeah, I don't think this army can take that anymore. I mean, it might be able to, but it'll get so heavily damaged and hit by all of these armies. I really need Franz to actually do something. Can we maneuver in such a way where we put these armies together? Because if 2 armies, there's no way the Vamps would win. But if 1, obviously a different story. Not so sure. Anyway, let's see where there are other potential fights. First of all, we have to kill this guy. We've no choice in the matter. He's going to run, and that will presumably take us far enough away to not be able to hit Carrick Vrag this turn, but he'll be a nuisance until he's gone, so... Lovely. No choice, but we'll take the free money. And that's why we don't want to invest in these new territories. Keep collecting income, though. Seasoned campaigner, that's fine. March Stancia back all the way to here. And then you can march all the way to here. And both of you attack at the same time. Plus you can heal up. And also keep an eye on more of Grimgor's endless armies out here. You two need to meet up so that we can trade Ungrim his Slayer piles. And reduce their costs, of course. Alright, King Lun, you are heading out here to get your Thanes and stuff. Okay, wait, let's see if we have another battle at hand anywhere. Boris, please take Cliff of Bees. Did you sack it? Did you sack it on the way and not take it? It's free. It's free territory. Occupy it. Stop standing there. Oh, AI. And where did the Slaanesh army go? I assume it's moving to Blood Mountain. I mean, we don't care about any of these territories. I'm tempted to just take the Fetid Catacombs regardless of what happens to Blood Mountain. These guys can retake any of the territory they want. They're still going to lose territory over time, no matter what they do. And if you take this... Oh, maybe by taking the Twisted Towers, he'll be prompted to take it. Let's find out. Luna Occupy gives us an extra 900 money. Yeah, sure. It's not like Boris is going to do anything for us. Brewmaster, war coordination target to lost. We will then declare war on whatever your name is, the Crag, by asking Boris. Well, I was about to say by asking for money, but there's probably no real. Ow! Huh? We can't? I guess they removed the ability to do that when it's a vassal faction. Wait, okay, I hope that we can declare war on it. Assume so. Yeah. Don't call allies to help. AI just being weird. And there's the little army. Auto-resolve. No damage. Occupy. Sack and knock. No. Sack and then go. You should still have movement. Hey, another guildmaster. Nice. More money. We definitely need it. There's still 2 more armies we have to delete, but, you know, until we actually get the chance, it's gonna be a bit... Festus, I notice, is still alive. There's lots of armies going on here. Armies going on? It's a busy area is what I'm getting at. Let's see. Malakai, you're heading to Ice Spewer. Ooh, you can build the final level of the Spirit of Grungni now, but we can't afford it yet. But now that you're there, we should be able to get there reasonably soon. I wonder where Tamarkan is sitting. Auto-resolve. I wonder, is the Challenge Stone in Snowy territory, or is it in... Man, we keep getting ancillaries. No, it's in Chaos Waste. The Dragon's Death is snow. Yeah, it's kind of a mix. But I feel that... just because Dragon's Death is, doesn't mean that we should take it. I wonder how much of this territory is Chaos Wasteland and how much is snow. I don't remember. It's been a while since my Zatan campaign, admittedly. And I guess we keep on moving. Gromby. You've got a date with the corn guy. March stance, you'll still suffer attrition if you don't do this. I don't see him yet, but I need to double check that he's right there and I'm going in the right direction. Yeah, looks like we're good. He should be right here. And, I can no longer see the... no longer see the Nurglite army, but it could be that all of these armies are specifically in shadows every time. I'm just gonna blame Bellicor, just like the Chaos Gods do. Anyway, Skrygni. No, we can't. I'm just very tempted by it, but no, we can't. And while I would love for you to build some Slayers, I think we'll have somebody else do it for Ungrim. Right now, you're a little bit busy. I want you to transfer some of this stuff to King Lun. I want King Lun to lose 2 Dwarf Warriors, and we can move you, Thrund Copperpot in. And a Thane. Oh, now that... okay, that's gonna bother me, but anyway. We also need Ungrim's Thane. Not the Runesmith, the Thane. Can you move out of the army yet? No, I guess we'll have to do so next turn. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. No big deal. We'll also have to round this army out. Ooh, wait. There was something. I had a thought about what we could put in there. Go to allied okay, no, somebody has to go to allied recruitment. And yes, I know, extra costs, but what can you do? If we take a look at the northern provinces, we may not have sky junks, but we do have the war drums available. And making the slayers hit even harder with the war drums, I think that might be fun. Assuming, of course, we still don't have land oh, we do have land ships now. Slayers and land ships? Sort of a mobile army to move towards the enemy. That's tempting. I do like the land ships. Oh, and we do have the frostworms out of the Great Orthodoxy as well. Oh, you know what? Frostworms, or elemental bears, but we could do 2 frostworms for now, combined with the hammerers, which are unique because they also have frostbite on them. Hammer army with lots of frostbite. Might actually be able to chase some enemies down. I think maybe that's the way we do it. Some monstrous units together with the hammerers. Say they hammered them into submission, and that's why they serve them. But anyway, Beliar. You don't need to move. I lied. Burundan, I wish I could move you, but we need Vlad to actually do something. And I believe after Okri, we're good to go again. Alright, just passing through a few turns, but hey, this will just allow us to close the distance with the next champion of the Dark Gods, and I think everybody can appreciate that, because that was a really fun fight. And buildings. Wait, I never moved the architect, did I? Not this turn, I mean. No. Help it. Ignore this. We're not going to Frozen Landing. We don't need to do anything at Krakadrek, meaning you can jump and start moving towards the Tower of Krak, which you will reach next turn, and be able to position yourself to go to the Forbidden Citadel and build all that stuff there. Beautiful. Alright. And then possibly to Doomkeep to save us money on upgrading you and everything here. Alright. Alright, ignore the rest of the stuff, even though I'm sure there is some money to be had. Do we finally give you the Tower of Torment? How much money would you give us for this? We need money now. 71? Yeah, they still have no cash. Just take it, just take it. Have the full province. Alright. Otherwise, it's just gonna be there. I wanted to potentially trade it for something that would actually be useful to us, but I somehow doubt it's gonna happen. Anyway, Carrick Doom. You know, for a, wait. 2.5k? Nah, we can't. Maybe this one, the Tusks, it's still too expensive. We need to get the Engineer Corps over here. Anyway, let's end the turn. Let's see if we can't get to that Champion of Corn, shall we? I'll double check the Diplo next time. Or between the episodes, all depending. We're actually super out of time. I just really want to see what's in that Cornet Champion's army. It's tempting. If we can reach him this turn, we'll fight. If we can't, then we can't. Can't do much about that. Elspeth, you want us to join war against... Man, these guys really don't like the Barrow Legion, do they? Keep constantly trying to get us to fight them. Nothing wrong with that, but... And we've already said no. Alright, Age of Reckoning. Alright, we have the upkeep plus 50% for Grudge Settler units, all armies. But we have the new one. So, enter a new age. And what I'd like to see is, now how much is it? Oh, minus 3,000 again. Imminent Rebellion and where? Oh, this is just Chaos territory, who cares? Imminent Rebellion is fine. So my sense is all fine. So, what's the new objective? Alright, so no, it wasn't, because we didn't increase the amount again. So it should be the standard amount. Before it was 46,000, now it's 42,000. That's silly. It's basically impossible. Think about it. 42,000, right? Assuming very conservatively, or very generously rather, that every single territory we take gives us 500 grudges. It's actually not true. A lot of the territories and armies give us less. Like, Carrick Vrag is a tier 4 heading to 5, and it is only gonna give us 500. A lot of them give us less, and some of them give us none. Yeah, but assuming that those give us 500, let's see. Yeah, these are all not. Vlad has some good grudges. But just for the sake of argument, let's say on average they give us 500. These, very much not so much. If every single battle gives us 500, we need to fight what? What was it again, 42,000? So we need to fight 84 battles to get to that many grudges, each of which gave us 500 grudges. However, that's assuming that those 48 battles, or whatever I said, 84 battles rather. No, yeah, 84 battles. That's assuming that battles are fought every single turn, and every single battle gives us exactly 500. This is obviously not true, as armies spend time moving, and thus don't always acquire the grudges that very turn. So, yeah, and this has to be done in 15 turns. On top of all that, to fight that many battles, 84 battles, with the amount of armies that we have, and do so every turn, how many armies would we even need to do that in 15 turns? It's a lot. Although the extra 5 turns is decent, but yeah, it's still too much. Should be lowered to about 30, I think. 30 is reasonable. And you can obviously still increase towards the end of the campaign, but yeah, right now it still feels like too much. Anyway, Carrick Vrag, do we need to fight here? Almost tempted to wait until it hits the next tier, but I also don't want to waste many turns because these armies are costing us massive amounts of cash. This is not worth fighting, but what I would like to see... there's no way we're reaching that Cornet champion. It was here, right? There he is. Hello, what do we have here? Minotaurs, ooh, a bunch of blood crushers, more soul grinders. Yeah, they got some very nice elite armies. I'm excited about that. I also didn't realize that you were still hurt, Gromby. Yeah, but nonetheless. And we gotta fight. But alas, it'll have to be a next turn. I think, folks, unfortunately with that, we might have to end the episode here, as there doesn't appear to be... Wait. Potential. Ikit, will you run? Will you stay or will you go? Please fight. I wanted to get Thrani in here, but that's not gonna happen. He will fight. He will fight, and thus we will fight. Yes. Alrighty, here we go, Beliar's debut battle. Haven't seen you in a while, sir, but I do like that blue and red and color scheme that you got. If only we could get some of those Emperor's Wrath steam tanks with the same color scheme from the Empire, but alas, you can't recruit state troops in that manner, which is a shame, just to color coordinate, but oh well. Now, unfortunately, Beliar's debut is looking like it's going to be a toughie. Why are we in the realms of chaos? I never tried to zoom out on one of these maps before. Go figure. I didn't think we'd be in space, but anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, we got kind of screwed here. This is not a good map for us. Not a good map for us at all, especially considering our army is very artillery heavy, but the enemy has a pretty good approach towards us. Several hills cover them, and we can't see half their army at this point because of it. In fact, I think we can't see any of their army yet, as they will be able to move under cover of both trees and hills, and we can't really move into a good position. We have to stay as spread out as possible because the rats could drop a nuke on us at any time, and we can't have it hit more than one unit, as it will delete whatever unit it hits, no matter what, and we can't have two. This will also mean that the units won't be able to protect each other as well in some cases, and the battle will be a little bit more spread out, and there it is. The enemy has found its nuke, unfortunately. Did they? Because it didn't drop all the way from the sky, right? It dropped from just below the cavern ceiling, which was kind of interesting. They made a skitter leaped a nuke over there. I think you can't use skitter leap on non-biological targets, but anyway, it does hit this cannon unit. It doesn't destroy them, but they're so heavily damaged, we're going to send them off screen so that the unit isn't destroyed, because we may need them in the future. Beliar moving up here to this hill to scout, mostly because we don't know where the enemy is at this point, because once again, they have the cover of all these hills and all these trees. And I believe at this point Beliar has at least sighted the enemy, and we can see that they are in fact moving towards us, which is kind of interesting. I don't know whether that has to do with the fact that the enemy dropped the nuke or not. Because they're on the defensive, right? But they are moving towards us. At this point, I was planning to move forward ourselves, but because the nuke has come and gone, we can freely wait for the enemy. And it's not like we can move up here anyway, because the trees would be interfering with our firing line, and so would the hill. Yeah. I'm very excited for what's going to happen here, just because of the massive terrain advantage that the enemy has. And of course, this isn't the way that Beliar's army will look later on. We just gotta deal with what we've got. Anyway, it looks like Beliar and the scouts have sighted at least some of the rats here, and at the very least our grudge throwers should be able to fire over the hills and explode some of those storm vermin and whatnot. The cannons will have a little bit more of a difficult time because effectively the entire enemy army is hulled down and hiding behind this hill. But as soon as they crest it, we should be able to get a little bit of cannon fire going, like so. Alright, sorry Beliar, but you're not getting a battle barge, you'll just have to contend with what you got. There's the flame cannon coming in, and that should cook a few ratlings without too much trouble, but it looks like the enemy is going to start to get shots off as well. The Jezzails are going to start firing just over the hill. They do have a little bit of an arc to their shots, and... ooh... we are taking in a little bit of fire from the enemy Plague Claw catapult as well, and I just want to point this out. The catapults are here. They basically can't be targeted by our own catapults because the trees are protecting them and they're really behind this hill. So great positioning from the AI, and it in fact will eventually move the catapults to here. Still in a good position, but to the point that the enemy can't... or won't hit the trees as much itself. Anyway, the enemy is still taking position up on top of that hill. Ikit Claw is doom-wheeling, trundling on down towards us, and we're going to try to send Beliar to intercept him while the rest of his army continues to move. The enemy does have, I think, 3 Jezzails units, which is really not good for us, including the eye takers. Or wait, 2 Jezzails and 1 unit of rattling guns, but all of those are super dangerous. Anyway, the Ratmen head down the hill, and it's time for the battle proper to begin. Iron Drakes and Flame Cannons alike cooking some Storm Vermin, which get briefly stopped by Beliar on his way to Ikit, who is being fired upon by all 2, I think, of our cannon units, while being held back by one of the Ghost Pals. Alright, Beliar and the Ghost Pals versus Ikit and the Nukes. Dibs on both band names. Anyway, looks like this flank is going to have a little bit of trouble as some Rat Ogres move on in to support the enemy Storm Vermin. Tried to move in one of the Ghost Pals to stop the Rat Ogres in their place, but unfortunately they were able to run past them. Fortunately, we do have Longbeards here rather than Dwarf Warriors, so they should be able to hold for just a little bit. And look at all this range fire exchange while the melee units still fight. This is what it's all about, and you gotta appreciate it when a proper Skaven army fights a proper Dwarfen army. Not just one army being obliterated by artillery or something like that. Anyway, it looks like it has been sufficiently damaged by Beliar to trundle away. Of course, there is absolutely no way we're catching him there. And that means he will return for another go, as he's only lost about 60% of his HP. The right flank is having a little bit of a tough time as well, and it looks like the Iron Drakes here have been reached by Storm Vermin and are having those Warp Lightnings dropped on them as well. A dangerous position for them to be in, but they do have Corler support, though at the same time the enemy still has Jezzail support, which has been damaged by artillery, but at the same time has rallied once more. Rat Ogres working very nicely together with those Storm Vermin with Halberds. Both have armor-piercing damage, and the Longbeards, while still holding, are still going to have a very tough time here, even with Corler support and a little bit of Engineer support, who I believe was gunning down an enemy assassin that was... there he is, and he stopped firing on him. But the assassin has headed into trying to kill off a bunch of units of Corlers with great weapons. And fairly successfully, I might add, as this unit is fairly hurt, and they can't really hurt the assassin due to his melee dodge capabilities. Anyway, it looks like Beliar and the other Ghost Pal have seen off another unit of Rat Ogres. The bounce of power remains at about, let's say, 75% in our favor, and it looks like that will be enough to carry the day. A little bit of flamethrower on flamethrower action here, though the enemy Warp fire throwers didn't quite manage to get off a shot as we targeted them with our own Iron Drakes and several artillery pieces, just to make sure that they weren't able to bring their own weapons to bear. Gotta have a healthy respect for the enemy flamethrower units after all. And there we go. And beautiful. Yeah, definitely Dwarfs vs. Skaven oftentimes feels like somewhere between World War I and a World War II kind of action. It's always pretty great, and we've almost got a trench lines or no man's land here with all of these sort of craters around, and the sort of boards all over the place look kind of like kind of like boards, or almost like trench lines. But I was thinking about the boards placed on the bottom of the trench so that you can still walk, though these ones are obviously... I don't think they're a railroad, I think it's just the actual boards. But anyway, there we go. There we go. With that, the battle is ours, and it was a tough one. Look at all the damage on several of our units. The nukes knocked out the cannon. The assassin basically obliterated one of our units of quarrelers. Several of our longbeards and other quarreler units just barely managed to hold the line. Granted, this was just a smattering of units we got in the Confederation, so we had to make do with what we got. And the biggest problem will be the fact that a lot of the army will escape, because we've no way to chase them with Beliar's force, as he has no air force, which in many of our armies we've been using to chase enemies down. Certainly gotta consider that, and there may be reason to... I was about to say put some landships, but they don't necessarily have to be in this army, but maybe just get a couple of units in this army from somebody that can chase. Though on the other hand, the Rangers, once Beliar's army is full of Rangers, actually can do so fairly well and do move pretty quick. So we just gotta wait until we have enough money to make that happen. Anyway, very, very nice debut against Ikit. Alrighty, a very, very nice battle from Ikit Claw. I really enjoyed that one. The AI had a pretty massive advantage in terms of its terrain, and it used it beautifully. The positioning on that Plague Claw catapult was perfect. And the fact that the Zales got to go right up on top of that hill and fire down upon our entire army, plus the fact that since the enemy had the nuke available to it, we had to get the cannons off the field pretty much immediately, or the one that cannon that got hit by the nuke, and on top of that it sort of forced our hand in terms of the way that we set up the battle, as we couldn't move forward to take the hill, nor could we sort of blob up in traditional dwarven fashion and have a nice protective box around certain things and concentrate our fire, and due to the fact that a nuke could have then been dropped upon the biggest blob. Anyway, very nice, Ikit. We're going to attract replacements. Now, I guess we'll be finding out shortly whether this was a good or a terrible idea. We cannot reach Ikit here. The problem with this is he has another army nearby, and they could potentially attack us together. The worrisome aspect of this, of course, is if we get ambushed, because... yeah, this army is not going to be particularly good in an ambush. They would have a very tough time bringing down Beliar himself, mind you, but it would still be pretty difficult for these guys, and that certainly makes me interested. Unfortunately, we are very much out of time. We're going to have to wait. Oh, you know what? Huh. On the other hand, we don't know how far you can travel. There's two options. One, we move you just close enough. Yeah, see, we can regular move and get close enough to the rats. I guess that doesn't necessarily mean that Beliar can, but we could put Thrani into this army and then have access to a high-level runesmith with us, who does have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin and the Rune of Slowness, all the good stuff, basically. However, that might bring us just close enough to Ekich to actually get jumped on. It's certainly something to consider, but anyway, I think for now, as I said, we're very much out of time, and I'm going to call it here. Next time, we'll see if Beliar survives the coming fight. I'd really love to start recruiting Rangers for him, but until we have cleared a few of these rat armies out, we're not going to be able to, but we'll retrofit him as soon as we can. Gromby will head towards the Champion of Khorne, which looks like another fantastic fight for him. Malakai will continue moving northward towards hopefully finding and then bringing down Tamarkan. Want to see that Toad Dragon as a death animation by virtue of our cannon fire and our Air Force. And then there's Carrick Bragg and a bunch of other stuff as well. So, a lots more fun to come. Having a great time with this campaign, so stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.